mess. You can't even break into the top 3 just based on the fact that Conor is holding his hostage and not fighting anyway. So
he could walk himself into a big fight right away if he was willing to cut back down to 155 again, but it just sounds like he's done with it.
Well, I think he would do it for the right amount of money. I think he's not willing to put himself through that because I don't think he ever missed weight.
No.
But he just had a very difficult cut. So we'll see what happens. But
he's call out Mayweather.
Dude, I mean, everybody's doing it. Everybody's calling out a boxer these days.
G.
Yeah, David Hay. You know, you got Jean Pascal now calling out Nick Diaz. He's doing the reverse one. The boxer calling. I mean, it's, you know, Spider wants to fight Roy Jones Jr. What is going on, man?
It's craziness.
I mean, I guess we'll wrap up with that because we're through the 5 headlines, and I want to let you go. Thank you for your time so much, but you know, let's finish where we started. You've been covering the sport a long time, as have I. We've sat around in different cities around the world, really had a beer, and talked about this crazy sport. How do you feel about it in 2017?
It's bizarre, right? I mean, I think on the one hand, I think we're finally getting that point where we always realize, I mean, this is not just a sport. It's sporting entertainment, you know what I mean? It's both. Yeah. It's prize fighting, you know what I mean? It's not the type of sport where you roll out a schedule and you fight through that schedule and then, you know, we see where everybody stands at the end. It's the fights that people want to see. It's the fight that intrigues people. It's, you know, it's I think in a nutshell, it's this whole Conor McGregor Floyd Mayweather thing. To me, it is the stupidest fight that we're ever going to see in mixed martial arts history. I mean, if it was an MMA fight, Conor would kill Floyd. We know that. In boxing, I'm sorry, Floyd's on a different level than Conor. I respect the hell out of him as an athlete. To me, it's the dumbest fight I've ever seen from a competitive standpoint. And you know what? I can't wait to be sitting cage side for it.
Oh, really? Cage side? Well, first off, you're in the wrong building. It's going to take place in a ring. Yeah, I mean, I will enjoy it when it finally starts. I think I'll be so burned out by the time it gets there. It's just I don't look at that as necessary. I think a lot of people would be shocked to hear this maybe. I think you and I would probably have the same ideas about this, but maybe the casual people out there listening, they would say, "Oh man, that's so cool. You're going to be covering Conor McGregor versus Floyd Mayweather. That's really cool, man. Like what an experience." And yes, it is an experience. And yes, I'll remember. But I mean, I covered Mayweather Pacquiao too, and I got to like this would be that times a million just from the circus element of it, and then you got everybody dipping their hands in and trying to get a piece of it. And it's just like, I know these guys, and I know that a lot of this is fake. A lot of it is just you know, bright, shiny lights and putting the right names on the right poster. And it's just all this money flinging around. I like fights. I like sport. I've never liked the entertainment side. I mean, don't get me wrong. I enjoy it. It's part of it. It can add to the sporting element. The actual show of it can add to the sporting element. But I'm not looking forward to covering Mayweather Pac. I'll just say it straight up. I'm not looking forward to covering Mayweather McGregor. If it happens as a journalist, I'm not necessarily like, ooh, yay, I get to cover Mayweather McGregor.
The process will be crazy. I mean, you know, there's going to be so much media attention. I mean, it's going to be great from our boss's perspective because they're going to be seeing the views that we're getting.
Oh, yeah.
Like, great job, guys. You're doing great. You know, so we appreciate all that. But you're right. The process of fight week, it's going to be maddening. We're not going to get, you know, I honestly, and I've said it before, I like covering the small cards. I enjoy the small cards where I'm like the only media there. I can tell you in Sioux Falls, South Dakota last year, myself and Fernando Prates, our Brazilian correspondent, were literally the only media in the entire building for an open workout session for Tony Ferguson.
Wow.
Who's, you know, now, you know, driver's seat in the division. He shows up and we were like, hey, you really don't have to put on a workout. It's just the two of us. And he's like, no, I'm going to put on a workout. Let's do this. I'm like, so we're having a private open workout. Stuff like that is fun, you know, where you really get to talk to somebody, level somebody, you know,
exactly,
eye to eye and really get to know something about them. That will not be that. But the fact that, you know, our sport that we cover on a daily basis will be the center of the sporting universe for at least one night is cool.
Very cool. I just want to have a conversation with someone like Conor and get his actual thoughts, you know, get his real opinion about what's going on, you know, training for this fight. I don't want the rhetoric, you know, of like, I'm just going to knock him out in the first round, which is what we're going to get constantly over and over again. And so it's just going to feel disingenuous to me. And again, we're talking about a fight that hasn't even come together yet, but it's just going to feel disingenuous to me that we're all covering something and we're writing stories about something where we know that the people who are giving us the quotes are selling something, which is always the case. But this is going to be ramped up a million times. And it's all building to a fight that we know what's going to happen in it, you know? So as someone if I was just some NFL writer, I was like, ooh, Mayweather McGregor, I'm tuning into this. That's cool, you know? But as someone who has covered both sports, and I know that you probably feel the same way, it's going to be I'm not going to be able to enjoy it as much as some other people because I'm going to be like, what? What if?
What if he lands the left? What if he lands the big left?
Yeah, what if? Wow, we've really gone off the rails. 6 headlines today. All right, thank you so much to John Morgan. Where can they find you at?
At MMA Junkie John on Twitter. Check out the MMA Roadshow if you want to hear a little bit different. We're not quite as professional on the MMA Roadshow. We bust out the frosty beverages and just talk and fight. So if you want a little bit different spin on the sport while we're traveling around the world, check out the MMA Roadshow on iTunes and all those.
If you want more off the rails talk like we just did, I think the Roadshow is the way to go. Why am I not surprised? At the time you came on is the time I completely went off the rails and didn't stick to my script.
Shocking.
Hey, man, thanks again. We are going to take a quick break, and we will be back with the guests of the week. It is the stars of UFC 210, Daniel Cormier and Anthony Johnson. That is coming up in just a second. Hey, how are you, Daniel?
I'm pretty good, man. Thank you. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. It's warm here in Vegas, so I got the short sleeve shirt on. It feels good out here. But, yeah, Connecticut, I don't think it ever warms up. Over on the East Coast. And AJ, we have Rumble Johnson, the taker of souls. How are you, AJ?
I'm great, man. How are you?
I'm good. You a little tired? You don't sound like you have as much energy as DC, maybe.
No, I'm cool. I'm just chilling, watching football.
You're relaxed.
That's it.
I've got the good view. The Price is Right is on in front of me.
Oh, wow. Yeah, they got you guys set up over there. What are they playing? They doing the Plinko thing, or what's on right now?
I don't know. It's just some good-looking blonde lady in front of a blue car with a blue dress.
Yeah, that sounds like Price is Right.
That's the way to go.
Well, hey, you guys obviously rematch title fight. This fight in a way sells itself. Do you guys feel like there's a lot of heat behind this fight? You guys have both been in big fights before. Your first fight was very big. Obviously, everything that was going on with the 205-pound division. What's it been like promoting this one? Do you feel a buzz around it?
I do. I think, honestly, the fact that there hasn't been any fights for the last couple of weeks in the UFC, I think it helps us, because there are normally fights every week. So when there aren't fights, you start to kind of miss it, So Rumble and I have the opportunity to be the first ones back inside the octagon from like a 2 to 3 week break. So I think that helps us a little bit.
Is it just me, or have the UFC been asking you guys to promote this thing together a lot? And it's not that that's rare. I mean, we've seen two guys who are fighting each other head up to ESPN campus and do Sports Center together. We've seen it happen. But, I just remember before UFC 206, when the fight was supposed to take place up in Canada, they had you doing the same. It seems like they want you guys sitting next to each other. Do you guys get that feeling or not so much?
Well, I mean, it feels normal to me what we're doing. So it's not like they have us going here and there like they had Conor McGregor whenever he was facing Aldo and they had them doing like 10 city tours or something like that, something crazy. So this feels pretty normal for me.
It's just we've done it so many times together now. It's like if we didn't fight each other in the streets the first time, we're not going to fight each other the 7th time. So I think they're pretty safe now.
Is that what they want? Do they want you guys trash talking? Because you guys don't talk a lot of trash. That's what
I actually don't mind talking trash. I do all the time. Rumble said it yesterday. He said, I don't believe half the stuff I say, which is crazy. I mean, I believe everything I say. I can't believe it. I mean, I don't know why he would question me.
I thought you were going to say, which is crazy, because I don't believe 90% of what I say.
I believe it all. That's the problem. Maybe I am nuts because I believe every single word of what I say.
Being in the same room together, and you guys are pros, like you said, you didn't fight on the streets. You're not going to all of a sudden get into a brawl in our podcast booth. But have either one of you said something, or I guess I'll phrase it this way: has the other guy ever said something that you did take to heart, that bothered you, that irritated you? I know it's not going to have an effect on you in the fight necessarily, or it's going to throw you off in one way or another. But have you ever been like, what? Don't say that. Have you ever been irritated by something the other guy said?
I'd probably have to be a better question for Anthony, because I'm the one always saying stuff. He doesn't say much in that regard. I'm the one that's always talking.
No. I like what Daniel says. It shows that he is confident. And he is a good promoter and things like that. But me, I keep my mouth closed and I let it all soak in and do what I have to do the day that I have to fight.
Well, one theme, it seems like, that maybe DC has been talking about, and DC, I'll let you put this into your own words, in case any of the viewers haven't heard it, hear it directly from your mouth. It seems like not necessarily accusing him of being an all-out quitter, but that he can be broken, that if the fight doesn't go his way, that you can take advantage of that as time goes on. What are you saying exactly about Anthony?
Well, I do believe that because of all those knockouts and because of, I mean, even the fact that Anthony has earned another title fight and won 3 fights in a row, but has only fought for 7 minutes, lends itself to my view of how I see him as a fighter. I think he's a phenomenal fighter. But after I watch him in there with guys that have stood up to him and lasted past the initial burst, they always find success. And I'm not, I don't lie. The only time I saw him actually carry a great fight for a long time was against Phil Davis. But, yeah, I do believe that if you put enough pressure on him and you withstand that initial knockout barrage, you'll be fine.